on today's adventures of what definitely not to do when you have a really shitty tire. This tire is basically blown out. I'm gonna throw some air back in it and see if I can make it home so I can change that by hand. We'll see. We got 20 pounds in there so far. We'll see if we can get a little bit more. Well, update, didn't make it. Got her up, jacked up. Already got the lugs off, so we're gonna be changing a tire. Whoop, see you later. On the side of the road. This should be fun. We're gonna see how much of this I can actually record, and we're gonna see how it kind of turns out here. I got the tire off, and next I gotta really debead this thing. But I was noticing that we've got some new speed holes, so that's probably why this one blew out. Decided to shut Wendy off just so I can not have to scream at the camera so much here. Hopefully you can still kind of see what's going on. Can't really watch the camera and change the tire at the same time. Anyway, the first thing you really want to do is kind of break the bead. This brake sucks. Just gonna say that first. I was hoping that it was not gonna suck, but I mean it always kind of sucks. So I'm gonna try the dead blow. See if we can luck out. Probably not. Probably not. Gonna have to break out the beaters. Almost guaranteed. What's going on here? It's gonna be a long night. Get back to you when we get this off. About an hour and one sketchy contraption later, I have debeaded both sides of the tire, and now we are ready to get that bitch off, because I don't want to play with this anymore, even though I still have to pull the tire off of the rim. At least the beads are off of the rim. Now I gotta take that tire off of that rim and put that tire onto that rim. But I gotta undo my sketchy contraption first. Alright, we got the bead broken free from the rim on both sides. Now, grab 2 bars. I'm gonna get 1 bar up under and get a little bit out. I'll hold that bitch down, and then you want to take little bites. You know, some people would be like, oh, big, but no, little bites. You take little bites, and then you can just work your way around. Little bites. I hope none of you ever have to do this. I'm a cheapskate. That's a free tire that I'm putting on this rim, and I, for some reason, didn't think it'd be worth paying somebody to put this on when I knew it was bad. I knew I'd eventually be stuck doing this, and I definitely had time, probably yesterday, to have gotten this done at a shop and paid somebody with a machine a couple of dollars, and I wouldn't be on the side of the road right now changing a tire. But you know, where's the fun in that? Where's the story and the adventure in paying somebody to put a tire on? You can, you know, be blessed with beautiful weather like this in January to be in a t-shirt, changing a tire, and not be stressing too much. That's not too bad. But we're gonna keep plugging away at this. Like I said, little bites. You're gonna watch out for your valve stem when you come around to it. I'm at it right now. I don't have TPS sensors or anything, so there's not too much for me to worry. but I definitely don't want to hurt it. There we go. That's a good nice flip. And once you get something like this going, a nice little piece where it'll hold itself, a lot of times you can kind of get your hand up in here if it's not too tore up and kind of work it around. You want to be careful, you don't want to pinch your fingers in the rim. So just be gentle, you know, work your way around. But once you get it like that, really, you can do one bar. You just kind of work your way around. Wherever you can get the bar in, get another little bite. Before you know it, it's off that side. It's not too bad. Breaking the beads is really the biggest part that really stinks. Once you get past that, it's not easy, but definitely not impossible. Once you do get that front bead off, you need to get the back bead. So what I like to do is kind of stand the tire up where I can get the bar all the way through, and then I'll just tip the rim like that. Just kind of tip it at an angle where the bead's sitting in the lower part of the rim here. And then same kind of story. You just got a little bites, work your way around. A little bit more difficult on the inside. You can work it from this side too. I might actually start doing that now that I got this. Let me try to work it this way. I'm not sure how I want to go about this. I normally do just stick onto the inside, and I think, you know, it's worked for me, so I should probably keep doing that, huh? Just a little bit of, what was that game? A little bit of a twister. Left foot here, right foot there. This is going to be the longest, stupidest video. Honestly, for nobody's probably ever going to watch it all, but you know what? My kids will probably watch it one day and go, wow, Dad was crazy. Which, you know, it's like they say, you can't be old and wise unless you are young and dumb. Struggling to get that good bite right now. There we go. Well, maybe not quite. Maybe. I don't want to bend your rim either. I mean, this is a steel rim, so it's definitely possible to bend it. I really don't want to do that. That's going to be a headache. I don't want to deal with. Little bite. Little bite. Might need another bar. I'm going to grab a screwdriver. Still can't decide which side I really want to play with. It's a battle, I'll tell you what. But we're slowly making progress here, working our way. In progress. I know you guys probably can't see anything except for me fighting right now. Try to spin it around where I'm working towards you. But I think I've got the right process here. Might try to double up on this side. Yeah, the 3840 was really helping to break it off the bead, but I don't know if it's helping right now. Tell you what, I'm gonna be ready for dinner when I get home. That is for sure. Alright, this is currently the good technique. Kind of get the pry bar in and around. I really should get some tire spoons. That probably would have made this job easier. Proper tire spoon, but we definitely got the technique going now. It's kind of an under, over, pry technique. See? I bet you guys probably thought that I was joking when I said I'm going to change this tire by hand. Nope. Crazy enough to do it. I'm going to clean up this rim, drop that on. I got a little bit of a bonus backup plan to chuck in behind it, a little bit of tire repair, because that is a used tire, so we're going to get it beaded, get that put on, that in, air it up, and make it home to eat some hopefully partially warm spaghetti. Alright, well, nothing fancy to clean it up, just a little getting spiky, little steel wire brush here just to kind of get the junk off the rim. This thing definitely needed to be cleaned up. It always had a slow leak that I assumed was this bead, and seeing how rough this front bead is, it definitely could have been there. That side was pretty clean. There's a little bit of snow down there. Cleaning up the steel rim, you really just want to be thorough. Just want to make sure that you get anything that's kind of junky. I mean, realistically, if I was home, I probably would have hit this with a little bit of spray paint too, but it's not really going to see a whole lot of moisture, other than a little bit of moisture that might be in some compressed air. Again, probably the longest, most boring video on YouTube, but I was stuck here doing it, so I figured I'd record it. Alright, now for the fun stuff. Now we're going to try to put this tire, well, that rim into this tire. I think what I want to do first is I've got this can of WD-40 that I have already kind of cut up because I got mad at it because it wasn't working. But that just means I've got some WD-40. I'll wipe this bead down with it. And I know, WD-40 really isn't that good of a lubricant. I mean, it is a lubricant, but it's really meant to displace water. That's what WD is, water displacing on the 40th dry. But I really just need something to give it a little bit of slip. I don't need anything crazy. If I really feel like I want something a little more slidey, maybe I'll throw some soap on it. I've got some hand soap, some Fast Orange. That'll probably work. We want white wall on the inside. I would normally put white walls on the outside, but all my other tires are non-white wall tires, so we're doing white wall on the inside to match the rest of them. Now, when you're putting the tire back in, if you have a direction, make sure you get the direction correct. I'm just worried about the white walls. The white wall's going on the inside. This is the outside of my rim. This is the outside of my tire. I'm going to take my rim, and I'm just going to shove it in here. Yeah, it was worth a shot. But, yeah, we're going to fight it in. And then we got to get some air in there. And keep moving. Let's see what we can do here. Got the initial little push. Get her. Yeah. It's not too bad. Yeah, it's actually not too bad at all. We got that further than I expected. Now it's just the opposite. Little bites trying to go in instead of little bites trying to go out. They kind of push and peel, move the tire around, so that way you can get her to drop deeper and deeper and deeper. Little bites, so that way you don't lose your place. I do think putting the tire back on is a little bit more difficult than getting the tire off. And that's saying something because getting the tire off really stinks. But nothing's impossible. We'll get it back. We're already almost at the tipping point where it's going to suck in. So it's not too bad. This one didn't really fight me too much yet. Let's see if we can get a bite on this side. Oh no, I just felt a slip. That's never a good sign. Slip's never fun. You really want it to stay flat as much as you can. We're starting to slide back. Okay. I think I'm going to switch to the bigger pry bar in a second here. So we're definitely getting to some points where she needs some effort. So I might leave that one locked in. Try to get this rim really kind of pushed back as much as I can into this hole here. You know what? A realization has been made that I'm doing this backwards. And I'm going to leave all of this in so y'all can learn with me. I'm fighting this on the wrong way. And I'm willing to restart because as I'm thinking about it, I want the rim to sit there. I want this to go over the rim. And I had completely spaced that, but you notice the recess is on the front here. So I want this bead to go on first and to sit into here. And I was trying to fight it over this side, which is wider, which maybe I could have got done, but would have been way harder. So there's probably 5 minutes of my life I'm not getting back, but live, we learn, we keep moving. We're dropping that, then we're gonna drop the tire onto it. Will the tire trick now work? Can I? Nope. Give it one more shot. Nope, still no. I've seen this work, but not for me and not today. But that's all right, because this is already looking more promising than what I just had. We're gonna go straight for the big bar. Use a little bit of foot action. Ugh. See, I don't really know what this video even would be, because it's definitely not a how-to, because you really never should do this unless you're crazy or I guess broke or cheap like I am. It's not fun. It's a real hassle, but I don't know, I almost feel obligated every once in a while to do something kind of like this, because it kind of makes me stop, slow down, just, you know, do something. Alright, I'm going to turn the video off for a little bit. You've seen me pry on this tire for long enough. I'm going to get it, get the beads over the rim, and I'll bring you back when I use a little bit of explosive to pop this onto the bead. You guys thought that I was going to let you skip out. I'll let you skip out on some of it. I got the back bead on the rim, and I started this front bead, but that back bead really kicked my butt, and I got a feeling the front one's probably going to kick my butt too, so might as well, I guess, just make as long as a video as I physically possibly can, right? So you guys get to watch me struggle, continue to put a tire on, because I feel like I can't undersell how much of a bad idea this is. But we're still making progress. We're gonna keep plugging. Woo! Try not to get any more cuts. I did already cut my palm open on a pry bar. Not these pry bars with the handles, it was a woodworker's pry bar out over there I was using to try to break the bead free originally. Kind of slipped and cut my palm open. I got some super glue on there before it really started gushing, so it should be fine. Once you start getting these beads on, you really, especially when you're trying to get them on, you really want to make sure that bead is sitting in that lower part of the rim I was telling you about. That little recessed area, because if it's not down in there, you're really not going to get this on. You really need it to be down in there, or else you're not going to get the same stretch and the same movement that you could if it was sitting down there. Now, we are getting to the really rough spot where it starts to really get to be a pain in the ass. But I will say, this bead is going a lot quicker than the backside. We're making some good progress here. Just working our way around, trying to make sure that bead stays as low as it can. Tiny bites. You don't want to overstretch it. You don't want to move it too fast. Oh, this might just fall on. This might just fall on. Baby bites. I don't want to hurt the bead. Baby bites. Don't want to damage the tire. I have never had one just fall on like this for me. It's almost there. It really, I think I could just use a hammer and knock it on at this point. Use dead blow. Bing! That's what we needed. Now, the question is, do I need to... No, I'm not going to need to use any kind of accelerant to get this to bead. It should just bead right up with the compressor. So we'll get her aired up a little bit, throw that tire seal in, and get back on the road. So if you guys stuck with me through this whole thing, I really do appreciate you. Never do this. It's really not fun and not something I recommend doing. So yeah, stay safe everybody, and probably don't do this. Alright, we're waiting for the compressor to fully charge up so that way I have the best chance at this. But it does not want to just bead on its own, so we're going a little bit old school. And we're going to use some Sure Start and spray some in there, stand back, hit it, and hopefully get some air in there quick enough for it to bead up. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to zip tie that so it's just going, and then load this into it, and we'll see what happens. Alright, the compressor's fully charged, which means when it kicks back on, it's probably not going to kick back on because the inverter's not strong enough. But hopefully it'll get enough air into that tire where it doesn't need to kick on. We're going to do a little bit of a sketchy thing here, but we're going to get home. That's realistically what we need to do. So, a little bit. any of that. If not, you'll only see me mounting it with the ether and it'll end there.